Hello everyone, welcome to InfoSec Daily. I am Kripa and today I will be talking about OSINT. It is an umbrella term that refers to any information that can be gathered legally and free of charge. A wide array of sources can be considered a part of OSINT. It can be publicly available information on social networking websites, messages on discussion boards, forums, and any other information that may be obtained by searching online. But if you are searching for an exact definition of OSINT, then US Department of Defense defines OSINT as follows. OSINT is an intelligence that is produced from publicly available information and is collected, exploited, and disseminated in a timely manner to an appropriate audience for the purpose of addressing a specific intelligence requirement. Now let's see some of the types of OSINT. You can find OSINT resources from the internet. It includes blogs, social media websites, digital files, technical footprinting of websites, darknet and deep web resources. Media channels such as TV, radio, newspaper and magazines. Academic publications like research papers, journals and books. Corporate papers such as employee records, company reports and profiles. OSINT is used for determining and finding cybercrime and terrorist groups. It is used for social opinion analysis where marketing, political campaigns and internet users profiling are done. Threat intelligence, forensic analysis and technical footprinting are done for cybersecurity defenses using OSINT. However, OSINT is now used by almost everyone for a variety of purposes. Now that we know who uses OSINT, let's see the type of information gathering technique. The first one is the active collection, which is the type of information gathering technique in which you are in direct contact with the target. This process includes harvesting technical data about the target's IT infrastructure with the help of open ports, vulnerability scanning through unpatched Windows system, scanning server applications, etc. But this technique can be risky as the system might leave traces which can be easily detected by the IDS and IPS. Passive collection is one of the most common type of collection of data which is done with the quiet observation of data that is generated by the target. Examples include soldier surfing, eavesdropping, studying maps, etc. Most of the OSINT is done using passive information gathering process as it can be conducted remotely using publicly available resources. This process can be performed anonymously using virtual machines, VPNs and Tor. The semi-passive collection category falls between the passive and active collection process. This method of data collection sends a little amount of traffic to the target servers in order to gain generic information about them. To avoid drawing attention to your reconnaissance operation, the traffic strives to look like a regular internet traffic. You're not conducting an in-depth examination of the target's web resources in this manner, but rather a light inquiry without raising any alarm on the target's part. Identifiers are unique keywords, tokens or artifacts that describe a piece of data. Some of the examples of identifiers include name, phone number, email address, IP addresses, and many more. These identifiers could be found in a variety of databases all over the internet. You may only have one of two identifiers available to deal with when performing OSINT research. The real magic comes from another concept of OSINT, pivoting. Pivoting is the process of searching the same identifiers in the same databases and discovering new identifiers about the target. A name can go a long way to finding information about a person. Let us see it with an example. You have a name of a person and when searching it on social media, you can find his or her account. People tend to reveal a lot of information from which you can find a picture, relationship status, occupation, email address, etc. of the individual. You might find a picture which contains a unique landmark that you can discover using Google Maps and find the house of the person. In this case, we pivoted from a name to a person's house. Diving further, we can find the overall data of the person including phone number, workspace, etc. The RAND organization has divided the OSINT lifecycle into 4 parts: collection, processing, exploitation, and production. The data collecting sources includes gathering and storing information from various sources. Individuals rarely have the resources to store terabytes of data. Therefore, this stage may consist of simply signing up for accounts and creating API keys to query services that do store the data. The next stage is processing the data, which entails translating and standardizing the results into standard format for collaboration. The exploitation stage includes connecting the dots between identifiers and interpreting the results in a larger context. Production includes compiling the results of your findings from the beginning into an usable report to use it for later or show it to someone as a guidance. In this video, we attempted to shed a light of essence of OSINT, its types and users, and how it can be used to gain intelligence in various contexts by various parties. If you want to dive more into OSINT, then we have a blog on OSINT framework. The link will be on the description below. If you enjoyed watching this video, do like and share it. And if you want more contents like this, do subscribe to our channel. Thank you.